Guys, nutrition. Why does it matter so much? Why is it important? Why should it be one of the focal points of you and your dog's relationship? Ego's gonna be thumping around here, fee fi fo fum. Well, you better go lay down. Here, I'm gonna put in perspective why it's so important to me, what it means for you and your dog. Whole civilizations were cultivated and developed. Even culture itself is rooted in food. The only reason why communities exist is because someone was able to figure out how to farm and sustain crops in a way that they could feed multiple people. Back in the day, they were hunter-gatherers. So when you think about foundationally what food does for a community, it brings people together. There's a reason why you like Asian, Italian, Hispanic, aka Mexican food, and you know, they say American food, but you know, French fries still a French fry. So where did it come from? I'm guessing hamburgers. Well, hamburgers in Germany. Food for thought, right? That being said, when I looked at nutrition and the impact on it, when do we really feel at our worst? Well, when we do feel our worst, we don't want steak. When we feel at our best, we often want steak. The irony, right? You say, oh man, I'm gonna give me good steak. And then you don't feel so good. But when you do feel bad, you eat soup. Or if your throat's sore, you eat Jell-O. When you're in the hospital, you eat a lot of things that keep you cool and calm, right? So that a lot of the food that they give you in the hospital is cool. It's cool food, right? So it doesn't raise your temperature. You know, people don't think about these things. Even when they're happening to you, you're not thinking about the impact of this food. Low calorie, 0 calorie, little to no sugar. You know, that's interesting. What do they give you in the popsicle often? They give you popsicles in the hospital too when you're not feeling well. Boy, I tell you, it gets real interesting. And for me, it goes back to something as simple as somebody was able to figure out how to grow a grain of rice. will.i.am, I believe that's his name, from the Black Eyed Peas. He tells a story about one of his comrades. And I believe the dad of this guy, he had a pet bison. And the bison gave him the opportunity to till some land and grow some rice. You guys who are American born and American raised don't understand the privileges that you have to walk like we did this morning to Kroger and buy some chicken in a package. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's probably the best chicken, because we know what the food is doing to us, and they're now promoting no antibodies, no all this other stuff. But when I look at nutrition and take a second to think about what the human body's capable of, 9 times out of 10, the one thing that will limit a human's capability is nutrition. It's that simple. You couldn't swim 100 miles on steak and potatoes. You couldn't. It's not even fathomable. Nobody who swam or swims a ton eats that crap. It's just not even plausible. If you actually want to be healthy, you probably would never eat fast food. And realistically, if you've ever had a good cooked meal, there's nothing better than a cooked meal. So then you say, hey, what goes into my dog's food? Well, I've said this before. Protein, fat, and fiber. Now, fiber comes in various forms. One of my favorite forms of fiber is fruit and vegetables. Fruit, ironically, like a green apple, it doesn't even require the pancreas to release digestive enzymes to break down what? The so-called sugar in it, or as some would presume, what fruit has is a carbohydrate. And you've got protease, lipase, and amylase. Which one of those breaks down starches? I'll let you guess. Food for thought, right? When I look at nutrition and I look at my dogs, then I think about the structure and all that other stuff. And mind you, I know that there are people out there that say, oh, you don't got to do all that for a dog. And you're right, you don't, because you wouldn't do that for yourself. I put a lot on my body, and it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of agony per se. But here's the beauty about stress. I was watching a yoga documentary the other day. And one of the things that yoga, from my understanding, teaches you at a high level is to be still and really focus on working on controlling parts of yourself that you, when I see some of the position them dudes was in, I was like, Jesus Christ, I don't know if I could ever do that. I couldn't bend my leg that way. I can't hardly stretch a pinky toe. But the gist of it is is it teaches you to be still in a way that you've never been still, and to breathe in a way that you've never breathed, and to think in a way that causes a calmness to slow down movement so that you're in control of yourself, no one else. And I went out and brought in the flirt pole because one of my favorite journeys personally to walk some of my better than average dogs, and I asked myself this question last night, is do I have a dog like Coco back in the day where I could force them to be still while other dogs are learning to be better dogs, and then invite them in when there's time to encourage them to be challenged to be a better dog. So I brought a little flirt pole up here that I'm gonna start, stand on the general with, and Eagle's gonna have to be still. He's going to learn stillness. And that in itself is one of my favorite journeys. And I don't ever do that. Well, Coco, I did it earlier. I ain't gonna lie to you. About a year old, she's an OG though. She was a pit bull. She had more character poured into her. And nowadays, you bully people are just breeding a bunch of dumbass dogs, if I'm being honest. And that's not everybody. But I'm gonna be very candid in saying you're not breeding lines of dogs that do anything. So we're gonna leave that at that. But even when I'm thinking about nutrition, guess what? If the dog's gut is unhealthy, the dog, it's been proven, you can create frustration and reactive behavior due to gut inflammation, because the gut is considered the third brain. It's data supporting these facts. You can't think straight. And you as a human know this. When you are, they call it hangry for a reason. When you are hungry, the only thing that provides you relief, think about your whole day. Your whole day goes by. Only thing you think about there is, when am I eating? Especially if you're a chick. She only worried about, when are we going to get some food? When are we going to eat? God, I'm hungry. I sure could use a meal. So if the only thing somebody 9 out of 10 is worried about is getting food or drinking, and then if you've not had enough water, you go, man, I need some water, bro. The only time you even voice a lot of your needs is when they are in a state of deprivation. That being, your stomach growling too long, you get a headache. The body literally responds to that. You don't have enough water, you get that body goes into another headache. And then you have to be still. So this is why nutrition matters. So I said, man, I wonder if dogs get headaches. I know dogs can get angry, because when I feed them, they calm down. Mine do. They get like, boy, there we go, buddy. That was I needed. I needed some good food. And they get riled up. I left Eagle upstairs the other day, and guess what? I went downstairs, and I don't know, he don't bark. He was, he was hollering, because I was like, he must got some Batman ears. He knows them bowls is out, boy. He said, I know what you're doing on there, buddy. Go let me out. It's time to eat, brother. I know it is. And they're on an every other day schedule. So when we start thinking about nutrition, here's the things that I'm thinking about. How long can I keep my dogs alive by way of food and activity? How important is what they ingest, digest, and process to their quality of life? And how great do I want them to become? Well, they're as good as their food, even though a lot of people are just betting on genetics. Genetics, I repeat, and if I've not said this before, they do play a factor. I'll give you that. But the bully itself, just like a good Rottweiler or a good Malinois, they are what they are. Food just is going to enhance who they can become. Keep that in mind. You don't think of a lazy Malinois. You don't think of a Malinois that can't do nothing. But imagine it on good food. It becomes a different Malinois. But foundation is always going to be a good Malinois if properly bred, because a Malinois is a Malinois. And in this case, our bullies are bullies, and respectfully, eventually they'll be AMTs, and I'll never say American Bully again. So I repeat, when we're looking at nutrition, we're looking at the history. How do I cultivate, and I thought about this last night, and then I'm going to leave you with this. I think I'm going to breed or get a dog that could sustain its quality of life by putting it in a habitat like you would lions, where people can come visit and watch them hunt, gather. Well, I really want to test the theory of a dog and its capabilities, but I go, why hasn't no one did this with the dog? If you let dogs breed, take care of themselves, and build their own communities, how big does that habitat need to be? And what would it look like if I gave them every resource they need to survive. Where's the right environment to even do this? Now I'm curious. I've been watching a lot of documentaries over the past couple days. I ain't moved from the bed much. My back been killing me. So we've got a lot to unpack here and a lot to learn. And I tell you this, people, this is going to be a fun journey. It's going to require a lot of funds, which means we're going to have a lot of fun. So stay tuned. Take care of your dogs. Remember, food, nutrition, it matters. It's super important to me because when you look culturally, what food does to a community, it brings them together. Take care of your dogs.